50 strangers, one unforgiving land, and no second chances. Beneath the crimson cliffs of the Minecraft Badlands, 50 players awaken, each with their own story, their own scars, and their own dreams. The sun scorches on the cracked earth, resources are scarce, and trust is even scarcer. Will they rise together, forging bonds in the dust and building thriving civilizations from nothing? Or will fear, greed, and desperation tear them apart? Alliances will form, betrayals will sting, heroes will rise, and some will fall. This is not just a game. This is the 50-player Badlands experiment. Let the story begin. As the players spawn, they realize the severity of their situation. This will not be an easy while. They fight for the food and they fight for the wood. Some people found community in their suffering and started to collaborate as they explored.
Do you trust me?
No!
This is the Keepers, and they have one very special item. See, before the event even started, I wrote and placed 2 books with some lore relating to the server's future that players can find. And these books were a thing everyone wanted to get their hands on. One was placed easily in a structure. The Keepers ended up finding it, and this would end up being the most important thing that would happen in the entire world on day 1. Moving on, some players had found a very unique tree that had been made and decided to make that their place of operation. People were scavenging for resources, and people died left, right, and center. After a bit, things started to settle. The Keepers found their place to make their base. The people by the holy tree set up their thing there, but there was tension. There was an influx in population numbers, and the place where they stayed got out of hand. It was hard to control and it was impossible to work together, so Pixels decided to hide the book. After a bit of arguing, they each went their own way. But then, out of nowhere, people showed up and friendly. People wanted the book, as they heard it was for a reward. They were relentless. The Keepers ending up getting raided and lost most of their loot. It was chaotic. Pixels ended up getting tortured for the location of the book. Pixels also started having doubts in his ability to lead, and the whole book thing was starting to take a toll on him. But then a player called AnyZoom talked him into it.
You got us, you built a great group. We just gotta regroup.
Yeah, but
we got this.
I
But
have the
don't
book.
tell people
Everyone
about
else-
the book.
I have the book. Nobody else has
Hide
it.
it. Hide it.
Oh.
We go get their book later.
But
Put them
like,
together.
the keepers want it. The keepers want it.
You are the keeper.
I'm not a keeper, man. The
You
keepers
are.
The keepers
You're
are
the-
broken.
You're the
keepers are
heart
gone.
of the keepers.
No, I'm not.
Due to people's violent
throw it.
nature of the book, Pixels decided to burn the book, and Astro showed up to kill Pixel before he could burn it. But instead, he watched it burn. He was the most relentless to hunt for the book in all of the world. He got furious after seeing the book get burned. So after some fighting over the book, a meeting was called to talk about the influx and grief and stuff. If you don't care, then why are you here? At the meeting, a player was flexing a very special block. A pink wool block that only Pixel had. See, the book that got burned was never the real book. It was a fake. The real one Pixel had hid behind a mountain with the wool block. And someone watched the stream and managed to get their hands on that block and that book, which made Pixel furious. And with that, Pixel and his gang went into a hole to hide for the rest of the day, as night fell upon us. Today the Keepers had had enough. They wanted peace to fall upon the mesa. So they called a meeting.
And who doesn't?
I agree.
Yeah, so basically I'm trying to make a peace treaty because it's getting too chaotic. And it's all over a book. And everyone still wants me because the book was burnt.
All in all, after a lot of talking, tasks were delegated and a government was formed, called the Empire, which sought to minimize violence and hostage situations that were on the rise. Some players decided that they shall just sit down and enjoy life while it lasted. Mandarin decided to try to create their own civilization of peace and love, but they just couldn't do it. The pain of losing their friends the day before, it was just something that couldn't be handled. It was just something that couldn't be handled. As more and more people died, graves were made in the keeper's fallen land, and for the fallen warriors, before what was left of them set out on their final mission. Fab, on the other hand, decided that the pain and suffering was too much. He saw it happened with Mandarin, so he decided to join his friend. The Mesa had gotten to people. The kingdoms has fallen, and the people were lost. As Pixel and the rest of his team set off to the volcano, a few foes showed up. Theo and Probot. Probot had the book, and he was the one who stole the original book that Pixel had. And Theo was the one who tortured Pixel. And leader Theo down. After a long time of waiting, watching across the grasslands, there only stood one thing left. The great copper golem, remembering all civilizations that lived there, that was built there, that burned there, but still standing, and it is now waiting for the next ones to come. It was over for the most part. There was still one conflict with a player called OMKTY and the Empire. But in a victory run they decided to go loot in a trader's chamber. They were fighting some mobs inside, a friend of Pixel. And then, just as everything was possibly over, Pixel died right after everything was over. Fab and Mandarin decided that the pain was too much to bear. Pixel died as the keeper, and the rest either got killed in a crossfire, or they were hiding until the very end.